Incoming transmission from an unknown source. It seems to be urgent. Patching them through. They're calling themselves the HoloNet Marauders.
Hey everybody, welcome back to the HoloNet Marauders podcast. I'm AJ, and I'm joined here by Jamie, aka Jem the Jedi today. No Matt. He's currently still on his
This is a great Western adventure.
yeah, I was gonna say like great Western excursion or something like that.
It's an adventure. For those
yeah.
of you who don't know what we're talking about, he's just on a trip in the Western United States with his parents and having a great time. And we keep getting pictures of like bison, buffalo. Anyway.
We did so when we're recording this, and I actually had a friend wondering, one of my good friends, and I'm surprised he didn't know this because I'm pretty sure I explained it to him. But if you're looking for our Ahsoka recaps, those are being saved for when the strike is over. And if you're listening to this and it's like 2024 and the strike's been over, then don't worry about that. That's definitely going to be a thing. But yeah, if you're listening to this, when this comes out or soon, and then when we release it, you're like, hey, where are their Ahsoka recaps? We have been recording them. We're saving them to share with the world for when the deal is over. Most of you probably know that. We've mentioned it.
When the strike is over and a deal has been struck.
Yeah, same thing, right?
Well, yeah, I'm not going to get technical on how you worded it, but yes, that's why we're saving it. We're just standing in solidarity with the strike and just being quiet.
They're all very good. They've been some of our best discussions, maybe because they're not live. Usually we do them as our live stream, as many of you know, but maybe it like takes some of the pressure off that we're just doing it by ourselves. But they've been really good. And yeah, I don't want to say anymore because that'll cross our line of things. But
let's move on.
Matt was out west in one of those, so whenever those do come out, you'll enjoy him being out west in his hotel room during that. But yeah, Jamie and I are here to talk about stuff today.
I have no idea what we're talking about. Maybe
I purposely not told her what this. We're gonna be playing a little game of sorts.
That's all I know.
Little activity, a new thing for HoloNet Marauders. If it goes well, maybe we'll do it again. Let us know if you guys enjoy it. And while we're at it, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. We're trying to grow the page here so much that I can't even speak. And if you're listening to this on the audio version of the podcast, welcome back, and be sure to rate us on there too. I know there's a way you can give reviews and stuff, so that helps with the algorithm, helps spread our goodness to other people. And yeah, check us out on YouTube if you haven't, if you're just listening to this. But yeah, how are you doing today, Jamie?
Doing well. Doing really well.
Pleasantries, but I'm circling back.
No, it's okay. Doing really well. I actually have comic news, which we can talk about in the current state of everything. There's a new comic coming out in the Hyperspace Stories run, which is going to have the Bad Batch in it. And this got announced earlier this year, but a new cover dropped today, and I pieced something together. Bear with me on this one.
I haven't even seen this.
So there was a cover that dropped today. The one that was like the main one, it was just like it's set during the Clone Wars, and so Echo's not with them yet, so it's just the main four guys. The original cover was just like the four of them, and it looked like a cave behind them. One that dropped today was like 5 panels, and it was the 4 of them, but the 5th one was this like little chipmunk-looking animal creature. And if you've been reading the Hyperspace Stories comic so far, we've seen this already. This little chipmunk stuffed animal, because it showed up in the first issue of Hyperspace Stories, which was Anakin and Padme and Obi-Wan end up saving a little Wookiee named Vivine, and she has a little stuffed animal.
Oh yeah.
And then nothing in the second issue, and then in issues 3 and 4, it's set during the sequel time, and Finn and Poe are on a train. Finn finds this little plush on the train. It's the same stuffed animal, because right, bear with me. And then in issue 4, Finn gives this little stuffed animal to Rey. Sorry, in the end of issue 3, Finn gives it to Rey. In issue 4, Rey is with Chewie. They go to Kashyyyk to celebrate Life Day. That's a cute little comic, actually. It's like in the tone of like A Night Before Christmas, but like the night before Life Day. But at the end of that comic, she meets older Vivine, so like 50-year-old Vivian, and she's like, the Force is telling me to give this back to you, or to give this to you, and Vivian's like, oh my god, this is the doll that I lost like 40 years ago. So my theory that I hatched out of my own brain today is that this little doll, that the Bad Batch is going to be on the planet Kashyyyk in their arc of this little this issue of Hyperspace Stories. And I'm like, is this like the Kashyyyk arc adaptation? Maybe. I don't know. That'd be really funny if it was. But also I hope not at the same time. But anyway, that's what the little plush animal is on there.
Yeah, you said chipmunk at first, and I was like, I had forgotten about that. I thought you were just talking about, like, you didn't say stuffed animal. So I was like, what are you talking about? But
Visually, it looked like that. A friend on Twitter called it a chipmunk at first, and then I was like,
was
wait,
a
no,
it's a
I
stuffed
think I know
animal,
what that
though.
is. It's a stuffed animal.
You
It looks
you
like a
didn't
baby
say it was a
Wookiee.
stuffed animal at first.
No, yeah, it's a stuffed
So I was like,
animal.
wait, but I do remember
Sorry
that.
about that. Sorry if someone got lost
I
along the way.
hadn't. I'm sure they did, probably, but I missed the last issue of the Hyperspace Stories. It was the Kylo Ren story, so I have to
Yeah,
pick that up. I have no idea what happens in it. Probably not a ton, but I should pick it up.
the run's been pretty
Anyways.
cute because they're all standalone stories, but not because of this little stuffed animal. There's a little bit of continuity. Anyway, that's my
So,
update.
Before we get to our game that we're going to do that I haven't even explained to Jamie yet, but I've done that on purpose because I think explaining it on the recording kind of makes it funnier. But pulling out our 100 whatever it is conversation cards, and we're going to do a couple of these as we like to do at the beginning of the episodes. So, all right, this is number 75 out of however many cards are in this. I always forget what the heck this game's called, but card game, yeah.
It's a card game.
Jedi lightsaber blades are usually blue, green, purple, or yellow. Which color would you choose and why? It's a very plain question, but it's not bad.
I mean, I'd have to go with, at this point, actually green, but like a light teal green, because that's actually like what I have as like a lightsaber. That's like my personal lightsaber.
Right.
If I was bound by those 4 color choices, though, I'd probably pick yellow.
Yeah,
No
I don't
reason, I
think
just like it.
you're. I don't think you're bound to those 4. It just says usually are those colors. So I would probably go. I mean, it didn't say red on there. Not that I would go red, but
That's
I've always
not a
liked.
Jedi lightsaber.
Oh, true. It did say Jedi lightsaber blades. I've always liked orange. Orange sabers. We don't see them often. I think in Jedi Power Battles, the old video game that I absolutely hate. It's a Phantom Menace. One of like the million Phantom Menace story games they made. Matt and I have played it. It's the hardest game there is. It's so hard and infuriating. Even on the easy mode, we've put it on. I think it has difficulties, but even on the easy mode. And I think Plo Koon had an orange saber in that for some reason, if I remember correctly. It might have been
It was
yellow.
just to like differentiate out.
It might have been yellow. It might have been orange. I don't know. But when the Jedi Fallen Order came out, and at first I was like, I like to do the blue. Eventually I was like, his lightsaber is blue. I like to play that way. Cal's lightsaber, that is. But I did orange at first, and I really liked how that looked. So I'd probably go orange. Orange is cool. But if I, like Jamie said, if I had to pick from these blue, green, purple, or yellow, I don't know. You said yellow. I'd go green maybe. Green's kind of cool, but blue and green are nice. they're the most like plain generic ones we always get, but those are cool. I'd go green if we had to choose.
They're nice.
So orange and green.
Okay.
And you had
green and yellow.
Light green and
light
yellow.
green, yeah.
Okay. One more of these, and then we'll get to our game, which is going to be amazing. Jyn Erso uses several different names while she's on the move. What would your Star Wars alias be?
I thought that was gonna be like trivia at first of like, what's Jyn Erso's like alias? And I'm like,
there's no
I don't
trivia in
remember
this.
what her alias was. I don't know. I can't name a character on the spot. What do you think I am?
You just have to make up a name. Let's see. Therm Scissor Punch. No, I'm just kidding.
Jabba the Hutt.
Yeah. Therm Jetster.
Okay.
Or Dianoga Johnson. That's always been my famous one that I haven't pulled out in a while.
Favorite. I don't know. Let's go with Maddie Maylou Run. I don't freaking
It's not bad. Maddie Maylou Run.
know. Just Commander Maylou Run's a long distant relative.
Okay, that's pretty good. Those are our aliases there. That was very nice. I wonder what Matt would have said, but all right. So, are you ready for me to explain this game to you and the
I'm
audience
ready.
at the same time?
Yes, let's go.
So, I've already had Jamie write down 5, it's technically 6, but we're gonna choose 5. Maybe we'll do 6. We'll see how it goes. 5 to 6 characters on little pieces of paper. Put them into this lovely cauldron that I have, and she has a Lego skeleton head piece.
I have a Lego stud.
Yeah, essentially. So each have them in a bowl. I wrote down 5 random ones to put in her pile. So we each have different piles of characters. So we're each gonna choose, not yet, but eventually, I'll choose one. I'll read it off, and then you pick one of yours, read yours off, and those characters are gonna swap roles in the lore of Star Wars.
Okay.
And then we're just gonna have fun with it and be like, oh, what would they do in this? How would they do this? Isn't that pretty good?
Yeah, that is pretty good.
So, like,
All
for
right.
example, like,
Yeah. No, I don't need an example.
You don't
I
need an
get
exa-
it.
the audience
I
might
get
need an
it. I'm just
example.
okay. Sure.
So, okay, and I don't think we'll get these characters. So, like, say like Chewbacca and give me another character for the example.
I don't know. Anakin.
Salacious B. Crumb.
Sure.
So Salacious B. Crumb would become Han Solo's sidekick, rebellion hero that does all these crazy things over the years. Meets Han in the mud pit.
And
And
Chewbacca
Chewie
would
would
sitting
become
on Jabba's throne, and his
laughing it up.
his little ancestors be roasted on a spit. Or no, in this case.
No, I don't think we'd go that far.
Okay.
But we can see. So that's an example. That's an example. So okay. I guess I said I'll go first, but you can pick a name out of the bowl you have there and read it off. And remember, I wrote these down for her. She wrote mine for me. I couldn't think of the best way to do this, but I think this is the best way to do it.
All right. So our first one is Agent Callus.
Okay.
Alexander Callus.
So Agent Alexander Callus will be swapping roles in the galaxy with AP5, which isn't that. So these are supposed to be pretty ridiculous, but those are pretty not that far off. So AP5, and for those of you, I mention this all the time, but for those of you who haven't watched Rebels, please watch Rebels. It is amazing. Or please watch like a recap of Rebels or something. You need to know this lore for a lot of reasons, but it's also just some of the best Star Wars storytelling. So AP5 is a droid in Rebels.
He's an inventory droid
for the Empire. And Chopper, who probably everyone knows, Chopper, the astromech droid, runs into him on the run, and they pretty much become best friends. AP5 comes and joins the rebellion, and he's hilarious. And he sounds a lot like what's his face?
Alan Rickman.
Yeah, for the longest time I thought it was Alan Rickman, but it's a guy that like it sounds like Alan Rickman, but it's not. Anyways, and Agent Callus, while we're on Rebels, who Jamie picked out of the hat, is the guy that's chasing an Imperial ISB agent, chasing the Empire, chasing
the ghost
for the Empire,
crew.
chasing the ghost crew of Hera, Kanan, and all them. So, so these guys are in the same show, and they're gonna swap roles. Agent Callus, or we can just call him Alex Callus.
Alex Callus.
Alexander Callus is going to be an inventory guy for the Empire. So he's staying with the Empire, going a little further down the rank there. And Chopper is going to befriend him. And Callus is going to be floating around space, singing in a spacesuit, because he can't breathe in space like a droid can. They're going to be buddies. And AP5 is going to be... I think
the more alluring thing is AP5 is going to be like some sort of now like assassin droid type situation. But not only is he going to defect from the Empire, he's going to have a relationship with Zeb.
So he's going to have a relationship with Zeb. And Chopper's going to have a relationship with Agent Callus.
We didn't plan these two like this.
No, I mean, like I said earlier, they're supposed to be... if they're from like different eras, it almost makes it more fun. But
Yeah, I
like,
don't
this will work
know.
really well.
How did we end up doing that? Okay.
I almost chose AP5 to put in the thing too, so that would have been the reason we wrote down 6. We're gonna try to do 5
To allow for a duplicate.
Yeah, but if we don't have any duplicates, we'll do all 6.
All
All right, so that one's fun. Can you think of any other fun details to add to that one? Pretty much covered it.
I mean, imagine AP5
Thrawn.
sitting in like a meeting with Thrawn.
And Thrawn's just like there is a scene in Rebels where Thrawn like beats up Callus. So Thrawn's gonna be beating up AP5. We're gonna get sexy AP5 with like the hair swooped
I
down.
was just gonna say, how would it signify sexy AP5?
I don't really know how that would work with the droids. He could have like a wig. I don't know. So we'll move on to our next one. I'll read my name off here that Jamie has given me. Okay, so like in the example, Chewbacca, so I just drew. And Chewbacca's gonna be swapping roles with oh boy.
With Malakili.
Oh, that's see, so
The Rancor Keeper in
the
Return of the
example was
Jedi.
close.
How
How's this gonna work?
no, how did you predict this one? So how is this gonna work? Chewie as the Rancor Keeper is gonna live a peaceful life. I mean, like I'd think
Kinda.
that like, well, in this sense, like with like that, like he has like a lease on life, like taking care of critters, and he's not like enslaved himself, and so he's good. He's dandy until the Rancor dies, and then he's sad. And then
Was
that's it.
Malakili like an asshole, or like do you think he was like a nice key? I there is lore out there about him.
I mean, like
I'm not read up on Malakili.
I don't think he was like a total asshole. Like he was just there to keep the critter, and then
Everyone
the Rancor
else
just
there was an
dies.
asshole.
Yeah, they're all a degree of asshole.
And Chewie doesn't have to wear clothes once again. Pretty much, he'll wear like
Yep.
a loincloth that Malakili wears.
Let's put this on the flip side. So Malakili finds Han Solo in a mud pit,
and just starts wrestling.
and they're gonna wrestle in the mud, and then they're gonna escape, and
Are
they're
they still
somehow
speaking
gonna
Shriwook?
Yeah, they're
So
somehow
was
gonna get
Malakili
flagged
raised by
down.
Wookiees?
Sure, he's pretty much Tarzan.
I mean, he kind of is.
He
He dresses like
already
him anyways.
is.
Holy! In replace of Matt. Holy crap! This game's fun.
I think it would work. Outcome would be pretty different, especially by the time like the sequels roll around, because he'd be like a geriatric old man. But
yeah, he takes a shot at Kylo.
yeah, imagine like old Han and old Malakili just hobbling around on the Falcon.
Just yucking it up.
Let's do the next one. Next one.
All right, you can pull out your thing first.
I have General Dodana.
Okay, switching with X-Wolves. So X-Wolves is now going to be general in the rebellion, which that benefits the rebellion because Dodana was kind of like withering away.
Yeah,
X-Wolves is gonna, that they have an asset now.
They do, but
side.
he's X-Wolves though is like a little bit more like impulsive though, so
True.
His strategies might not be the most sound, and they might experience some heavy losses.
That's true.
Plus, like, yeah, will
on
he
the flip
like?
Side,
oh yeah, on the flip side,
General Dodana as an old Mandalorian,
so
fighting with Bo-Katan in the fields there.
So would he be a Mandalorian, would you say, or would he just be a guy, General Dodana, with all of these Mandalorians?
No, he'd be a Mandalorian.
Okay.
It'd be kind of like it's hard to go back and be like, if Malakili is going to be raised by Wookiees, then General Dodana is going to be raised by
He's gonna be
okay. It's interesting because would he be a foundling? Because X-Wolves doesn't like foundlings. He comes around, but I think he's just born. He's born a Mandalorian, just like X-Wolves.
Sure. Yeah. I think that. Yeah. I feel like that entire plot line would like still be the same, but like X-Wolves would have a different kind of impact on the rebellion. I feel like putting him in that situation, it'd be differently.
He is very loyal. he's
Yeah.
stubborn but loyal.
Yeah.
And then once again on the flip side, we'll have a scene of General Dodonna going for Mandalore while like, pounding his chest or whatever he does. He's just ancient, like he just
Yeah, why
looks
not?
terrible.
I don't see why that would be like a big deal of like an old Mandalorian. I wish we saw more old Mandalorians. I say that now, and we're gonna get like a Mandalorian that's like literally 1 foot in the grave. But
Bo-Katan is like a little bit old, but she doesn't
look like it.
She doesn't look like it because
We're never gonna see an old Mandalorian because you know what? Age like doesn't exist.
that is true. As I'm thinking about the other examples, except for Obi-Wan.
Yeah, you're either ancient or you don't age.
I don't know if I have this right, but I saw this the other day, and as a lot of listeners know and viewers know, I don't know a lot about Legends, and Jamie doesn't know a lot about Legends yet. I know like the big pieces. I just never got into it. It just didn't line up with me. But apparently, Uncle Owen. I might have this wrong, so just call me an idiot in the comments because sometimes I am. But Uncle Owen in Legends might have been Obi-Wan's brother. I read that the other day. Random. I just thought of it though, because old people on Tatooine. So I can kind of see it. Like, but if that wasn't a thing, that once again, call me an idiot. But I think I read that the other day. Anyways, let's go on to our next thing here. And mine is Uncle Owen. No, I'm just kidding. Dudbolt. Nice.
Yes.
Now we're getting to the nitty gritty.
Dudbolt.
Dudbolt is gonna be switching lives with
Meeber Gascon.
Oh wow. Okay.
All right. Here's what's gonna switch.
So
In D Squad, not only is droids, but it's Dudbolt's entire pod. He's bringing it with him, and D Squad is doing their little trek across Abafar with the pod.
like they're racing, like they're driving the pod across the place.
No. The pod is just like crawling, and the droids are just like trailing
the droids
behind
are pulling it.
Yeah,
like Santa's sleigh.
Exactly. And Dudbolt's
How have we
just
never
like,
thought of that? Imagine Santa in a pod race. Although, anyway, I don't know. Or vice versa, like Sebulba being Santa. Sebulba swapping roles with Santa Claus. But he'd kind of be the Grinch. So, oh my God, Sebulba as the Grinch. For Christmas time, we're going to do that. We're going to write up a story.
All right, we shall.
So Dudbolt is running D Squad. He meets Gregor. He eats at the restaurant maybe because he has those chompers.
Dudbolt like probably wouldn't know like what a clone looks like, honestly.
Well, he would because he'd be swapped into Meeber Gascon's life.
Oh, his like knowledge and whatnot.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
You gotta play the game here. You gotta know.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say it can go one of two ways. Yeah, he knows everything that Meeber knows, or he doesn't know anything about the clones, and then Gregor never regains his memory, and it alters the course of everything that Gregor touches. He could be either way.
Could go either way. So then Meeber is a heck of a pod racer. Yeah. I mean, that's what's not to like there.
That's just beautiful. That's just
Meeber
beautiful.
Gascon.
I would pay to see Meeber in a pod race easily.
That's pretty good. Yeah. All right. Who else you got in your bucket there? I think we're down to 2 more. We'll do the 6. We'll do 6 total. Why not?
Zam Wessel.
Okay. I like the noises the paper makes.
It's good paper.
Zam Wessel is switching with Scuva Stev from. If you don't know who that is, once again, I'll give backstory. He is a fisherman in Jedi Survivor, the sequel to Jedi Fallen Order, that you run into over and over again, and he has a Scottish accent.
Call me, boy.
Tell me, boy.
So, will Zam Wessel have the Scottish accent?
Yeah. No. But Scuba Stev will still have his. But
you know what? She kind of looks like a fish when she changes.
So she turns into the fish, jumps into the water, befriends them, and then like fishes them. Well, can she change into a fish if she's a changeling? Or can she change into how Scuba Stev looks and acts so that it doesn't even matter and they both
I don't think so. I don't think she could. She's not like Elastigirl. She can't be like very small.
Or like Clayface.
No, yeah, she's not Clayface, but like I think her. No, I think she can literally just change to look like a human.
Like human and humanoids.
Like any human.
Okay.
Anyway, but Scuba Stev as a bounty hunter. Django, me boy.
And he gets chased across Coruscant, and then Obi-Wan and Anakin are chasing him, and I think he is a she, or I think she is a he, and he is a
Fisherman.
Fisherman. Oh man.
What kind? Okay. What would Scuba Stev have like a specialty if he was a bounty hunter? Would he have like a specialty weapon that's like a big harpoon gun?
Yeah, it's just a giant. Instead of the saber dart that he. Wait, no.
Those are Django's.
Django uses the saber dart.
Yeah,
I got that mixed up. He gets shot with it. So then Django will shoot not Meaver, Scuba Stev with the
big harpoon.
Dart. No, with the saber dart still. But instead of, doesn't Sam have the big sniper rifle?
Yeah.
Then he shoots the droid that Obi-Wan's being carried on. He uses his big harpoon for that. Oh, and instead of sending the little slugs in, the poisonous slugs to get Padme, it's like a bunch of like puffer fish or something rolling around the room.
Rolling around on the floor, just like gasping for air.
Meaver.
And that's what alerts R2 because he's like, are those fish?
Okay, that one's a big mess, but that's good. Sam Wessel as a fisherman.
What kind of guidance would she provide to Cal then? Because the whole thing of Scuba Stev is like he tells Cal a very tall tale every time you see him.
Right. I think there would still be the tall tales, maybe even the same story, but just with her in it.
With Captain Wenyuk Wet.
Is that who it was?
It was definitely Captain Wet.
Captain
Dread. Oh,
that's Monkey Island. That's Monkey Island too. All right, we have the final one here. I know who yours is, so this is gonna be a doozy.
I don't remember who yours is, so
this is gonna be a real doozy. Vizago from Rebels, a scoundrel smuggler of sorts with funny droids, with Emperor Palpatine, right?
With Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, that's good. If you know Vizago, you know he would love to rule the galaxy with an iron fist.
Vizago was literally just be like, I've died before. Didn't like it. I think.
And then imagine Palpatine as a smuggler, like a.
He would just be Sheev.
Russian.
He would
smuggler.
Just be Sheev. Russian? Oh, because
isn't Vizago like Russian? Oh, he wouldn't. Yeah, he wouldn't have the accent. But. Russian Sheev.
Sheev the smuggler.
Sheev the smuggler. Yeah, and then Sheev in this case would help the rebellion in the end.
Against
back Lothal.
Emperor Vizago.
Against Emperor Vizago. Imagine him with the hood and like the horn, like
the one horn that's like.
Yeah, one of his horns is broken, so the other horn's just like poking through the hood. And he uses lightning against Vader and all that. Oh man, that's good. Vizago.
Imagine that's Vizago good at all. That's just nuts.
on the not the council, on the Senate and everything. With the Russian accent. He would have the Russian accent there. So
that'd be nuts. So Vizago would be from Naboo then, right? Or would he be?
Yeah, he would. You gotta remember, they switch. Yeah, they switched from birth essentially, so they live that life.
Switched at birth.
Yeah, exactly.
So this actually is.
So, I don't know. What do you think the best swap we had here was?
Vizago
and Palpatine's pretty good. Axe Woves and Dodano was kind of.
I think that I was just gonna say I liked the Axe Woves and Dodano.
That was your favorite one. Yeah. Well, hey, variety's good.
I think the Deadbolt and Meaver one might have been the best.
I liked Chewie and Malakili.
Yeah.
That was a pretty wild one. Because they're both like, it really worked. It worked well. AP5 and Callus was good. But yeah, I thought this was a nice quick little activity we could do. I think one day when we have if we have 4 people on, because we need an even amount of people on the podcast to do this.
Mm-hmm.
4 people on would be good, and like me and you are switching people, and Matt and whoever are switching people or something. That could be fun to get into. And just more characters to work with. We can all play along with the lore that we're making up. And by the
I
way,
like it.
everyone's confused, as I am even a little bit. Don't take anything we just said as lore. If you ever learn lore from us, we are very knowledgeable in lore, especially when Matt's here. But we were just playing around
We're
with
just messing
this stuff.
around.
But we did give you a little bit of Rebels background if you don't watch Rebels. But totally random. Well, we kept mentioning Russian things, but Jamie and I have been watching the movie Ronin.
Yeah.
I had seen it several times before, but this past week we watched it, and Jamie saw it for the first time. I always love when Jamie watches one of these movies for the first time. It's like an
I'd
old
like to
70s
say
action
as
movie with
well.
Robert De Niro.
There's
Yeah.
been like a lot of like old movies that like I've seen that like I know inside and out that AJ's never seen, and like
Those
the
are like
vibe
old
isn't the
dusty
same.
movies, though.
Yeah, they are pretty dusty. But like this one, I have to say, AJ put it on like after it was already on for like a half hour, and I'm like, can you please start this movie from the beginning? I have no idea what's going on. And then we ended up watching something else at that point anyway. And then like the next day, he randomly like starts from the beginning, and I'm like, oh, okay. But yeah, good movie. Late early 90s, same era as the first Mission Impossible. So
Yeah, it has one of the guys from the first Mission Impossible in it. It's I don't
good.
know. It's just funny.
good.
There's a lot of cups of coffee scenes, which
It's not
my
really
brother.
funny
No, it's
per
not funny. But
se.
Jamie and I have a weird sense of humor. We just find stuff funny.
Yeah, it's not a comedy, but like if
No,
you
it's
get
it's
a
not a
kick out of
comedy.
just like I don't know, it's funny. A lot of car chases, a lot of really good car
So,
chases. That was really cool.
Something to close out here for a little bit for conversation's sake. I did on our Patreon page, which we have a Patreon page. We mention it from time to time. Subscribe to it for as little as $1. All of our supporters really help us out and help us do what we want to do, and it makes stuff easier here on the page. And you can see you get some bonus content on there, really cool bonus content. You can be entered to win cool giveaways. We have a really good one coming up for October that Jamie and I hunted out at recently. I don't want to spoil it yet, but it's really good. And yeah, check that out. I'll put the link is always in the description. But the reason I mentioned the Patreon is I had a video on there recently of showing off stuff that Jamie and I got at a flea market.
Yeah.
Which I don't often go to flea markets.
There's not that many around us. At least not
there's
that
not-
like we're aware of. It's not as big of
there's
a
one big
thing
one, but we don't
right
usually-
here.
Yeah, it is, but it isn't. So how was your experience? It was on my birthday too. I turned 30 years old, and
You said that so sadly. But no, my experience at the flea market, it was a lot of fun. It was at a place where they have a country fair, first of all, which we hadn't been to in a couple of years, and so it was actually really funny just like driving onto the fairgrounds where they would usually have, I'm assuming, the people who like show their animals and whatnot, where they park their trailers. So that was funny. First of all, set the tone. It was a lot of antiques, a lot of antiques, like dusty antiques. Like glass bottles, like really bad posters. There was like a Reagan cardboard cutout at one point. A lot of like random stuff. There was only like 1 or 2 places where they had toys and like figures and whatnot. And so there was one guy who had a ton of action figures, like loose Star Wars action figures, a ton of Episode 1 stuff. We actually found AJ's holy grail item of the Jedi gear set, which was like Qui-Gon's lightsaber, the belt, the Padawan braid, the Comtech receiver.
Sure.
And
can't spoil it too much because it's on the page. If you want to know all the details, go on the Patreon. I show it all off.
But like we didn't buy it. And then those lightsabers that AJ's
I'm holding these up now, and if you can't see and you're listening, it's a Qui-Gon toy lightsaber. The ones that you flick them and they pretty much shoot out.
They open.
They open. The ones these days are a little different for kids. But I had this one as a kid in 1999. And I don't know where it went, but this thing's in mint condition pretty much. It's awesome. It's fun to have these just to flick around. And I also got a purple one.
Which isn't quite Mace Windu's, but
it looks kind of like Obi-Wan's Episode 1 lightsaber, but it's purple, which is funny.
Yeah, why not? It was good. It was a fun experience, and I wish that there were more flea markets near us. Again, they're just
There is
not as
one.
like
I
yeah.
got some intel, so
Oh, the
maybe
intel
we'll.
has been gathered.
Yeah, I got intel, and I got information that I liked about this one that I kind of already knew about, but maybe we'll check that out.
So it was verified intel. I like it.
Maybe we'll have
I
more
like it.
adventures coming up.
That'd be fantastic.
Something Jamie and I talked about recently, like we really love going to like what is it called? Not thrifting, but like Star Wars figure hunting and
Yeah,
games
figure
hunting and
hunting.
stuff.
Yeah, I would say figure hunting. It's its own form of thrifting, I guess.
And we love doing it with Matt. You know, we've
Just like
documented
toy
a lot of
hunting.
times.
Yeah.
But about a year ago we had to go to the other side of New England for something, and we stayed overnight, and like it was so fun. Just like we stayed in that area, we looked up toy places that we could go to, and you know we did a little bit of hunting, and that was really fun. So we're like, should we just like take a trip to some random spot and just like stay the night and go toy hunting or something? So that'd be something fun.
Yeah,
to do.
it would be. It'd be great.
Yeah. I don't know. We keep like you think we'd keep running out of white whales to search for, but more and
never
more
ends.
keeps coming up, and it really never ends, which is great. But yeah, the flea market was really fun. I wanted to bring that up because I didn't talk on here with Jamie about it. It was on the Patreon. It was just me blabbering away. So
yeah, I have no idea what you talked about. I know that you made the video, but I was like,
it was just showing off the stuff and talking about it and the experience. And yeah, there's a few videos on there like that. So anything else you want to add to this crazy episode of Swap 'em? I don't know. I don't know. That's the working title for the. Can you think of a better title for this game?
No, I like
Star Wars
Swap 'em.
Swap 'em.
I like Swap 'em. The apostrophe em. Swap 'em.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
Trademark pending.
Yeah, I mean nothing else at the moment. I mean I apologize for my Bad Batch comic info dumping in the beginning, but I mean I'm always excited for new comics as well. That comes out in like October, and then I think there's new High Republic stuff coming out soon as well. But we'll get through when we get there. Anyway, this was a fun swap 'em and
Swap 'em.
Everything for HoloNet Marauders can be found on our social media. We're at HoloNet Marauders on everything. And whatever social media might be around when you're listening to this. If you've been looking for any of our recaps for the ongoing Star Wars shows, we're hanging on to them at the moment. We're not talking about them publicly until a fair deal has been reached due to the ongoing SAG and WGA writers strikes that are ongoing. We won't post until we get a fair deal made for all of our friends and colleagues in the industry. This has been the HoloNet Marauders podcast, and we'll see you guys next time.